Welcome to Speaking Prowess, the show that supercharges your communication and fuels unstoppable success. Sifu Raphael, visionary founder and world-renowned master instructor, elevates leaders into unforgettable communicators who command the room and inspire action. Alongside him is Scott Schilling, the authentic connector, a business growth expert with 40 years of experience, empowering audiences to rise higher, succeed faster, and thrive with purpose. Together they bring you the strategies, insights, and inspiration to amplify your voice, expand your influence, and unlock your true potential. This is Speaking Prowess. Your journey to communication mastery starts now.
5, 4, 3, 1.
Well. Hello, my friend. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. What a great day it already has been and going to continue to be.
I love it. The energy that I can feel already because of the two exceptional human beings that are going to be joining us.
Absolutely.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the energy?
Let's do this.
Right, let's bring them on.
You can't hold it back.
Jaclyn, Coach Teal.
Hey, good to see you all, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Good morning, afternoon, wherever you are.
Well, and whenever you're watching the replay as well.
Exactly.
Right. It may be evening, Jaclyn.
Right.
Could
It
be any and all of the above.
Right. So happy day. How's that one?
Perfect.
Or nice. We can keep going.
That's right. We can make it universal for any place, anytime.
We're just happy that you guys are here. Listen, today, the topic is something that's dear to me. It's legacy in motion. And I know that every one of you, and I'm going to include myself in that rocket, if you will. We're all building something that's in motion, but it's not just about us. Not individual. It's about all of us together. And I love it. Legacy in motion.
Absolutely. You know, as I was sharing before we went on, I went to an event this morning, and a gentleman was talking about his nonprofit and all the good work they were doing. And it was just, isn't it coincidental that, in fact, we're talking about this topic now today after I've already been through an amazing presentation and learned some great things.
When we think about legacy, what's one thing that really pops to top of mind for everybody?
Lasting impact.
Mm.
I think about, the people that we encounter, and I'm just going to share this because yesterday I had this an amazing guest on my podcast, Unstoppable Success, and the gentleman's name is Jay Sectel, and he has had 73 surgeries.
Wow.
Right? Crazy number of surgeries. He's a Vietnam vet. He's I feel like he's actually more like a cat. He's had many lives, right? Like many, many lives. Like he's talked about how he quote unquote died as a Marine, died in a swimming pool, died in a car accident, and has just come back. And I almost, he has so much to offer, and he's not bitter. It's not a woe's me, but the biggest thing that he keeps sharing with people is the impact of never give up and never quit. And so this is like with legacy in motion. This is where I think of, he's the epitome of that. Like he's really liking to keep and sharing what he, where he has been and how anybody can keep going and keep moving. And that's one of the things that we want to do. Like, we always want to leave the space that we're in a little bit better. So whether it's your legacy of the moment or your legacy for your life, how can we always leave things a little bit better. And I got off my podcast with him yesterday, and I just kept thinking, God, I felt better. And I know, like, what he said to me was, he felt better being on the show to be able to share. So, we're all a legacy in motion. We're all being able to create an impact, and we can help everybody leave a little bit better. We're doing something good.
Thank you for that. I agree with you 1,000%. I'd love to hear what you two gentlemen have to say as well.
Oh man. I feel like I know the gentleman that Jaclyn was just talking about. I feel like I know him because it's the way you explain it is just so amazing. And that's real legacy. It is, like you said, 9 lives type vibe. So yeah, that's real. I was telling you earlier, Sifu, I posted a photo on Facebook a couple days ago, and I just literally got off the phone with my father, right? And I could feel the energy in his voice as soon as I answered. Hey, what's going on, Dad? And hey, son, he had this extra mojo going on, and he said, I saw the picture, and he said it brought me to tears, son. And for those that do not know, the picture was of my grandparents. And one of the only pictures I've ever seen of them actually together. And I was telling Sifu, I took it, and it's an old black and white photo. I dumped it in Chat GPT, put the prompts in there, and boom, it popped up this amazing, nice, fresh looking, like it was just taken yesterday type photo. Added some caption narrative with it. Just a call out to my family that, hey man, we never know when it's maybe our last opportunity. So reach out to a family member, tell them that you love them. And this legacy that we're looking at in terms of this photo, it's all that we stand for and all that we strive to be. And just hearing my father 30 minutes ago in real time, it's 12:08 p.m. on the East Coast, 30 minutes ago, expressing to me what that meant to him. And we see it a lot. We see the different, reels and ads that go by talking about taking, and for gifts and holidays. So I experienced that. The legacy of my grandparents passed all the way down to today is very special. So amazing topic today.
Yeah, very much so. Again, this event that I was at this morning, the person was talking about how we have the opportunity to share so many great messages and do things. He said, we're not responsible for the fruits of the trees, but we are responsible for sharing and spreading the seeds. And it was just like, okay, mic drop. I'm using that later on today. I know that's going to work for me. So exactly what y'all are saying.
I got to tell you, Coach Teo, when I got married, my parents were divorced. And they put all their differences aside and took an incredible picture together that I have. I look at, it's in my wood shop. Every time I go to my wood shop, I see their picture. And I see love in them. And both my parents have passed. And they didn't have love for each other at that time. But they put all that stuff aside and they posed for this picture. And every time I look at them, I'm like, wow, that was powerful, right? Because sometimes when we think about legacy, we're only thinking about ourselves. But true legacy is not about us. It's about those who will see or hear about us later on, the stories that they will tell. And I'm going to share with you before Scott fully tells us about what he thinks about legacy in motion, is that sometimes you need to engage in writing a book And I know Jaclyn, I'm going to get her book coming up next week, right? And sometimes that legacy is really going to be about what we've written, what's out there, right? Now, people are like, Sifu, where's your book? I told Coach Theo Clay before that I've been in I've written 3 chapters in other books, but I don't share them. You know why? Because that's not building my legacy. That's building somebody else's dream, somebody else's legacy, and they asked me to participate. Now, if you were to ask me to participate in a new one, my definitive answer is, unless you're going to pay me $1 million, I will not be in your book, because I am going to be in my own book. And I've written so many books already. I just have not published them. And I'm not ready to publish them. And like Paul Masson said, you will not get this wine until it's time. So I am waiting for the right time, because sometimes timing is everything. And I'm not here to compete with anybody, because that will not allow my legacy to live on. I want to build my legacy so strong that not one, not two, but many, 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 many generations from now, I will be remembered for something. And hopefully it's something that's impactful, and that's why my name will still be carried on.
Yeah, very much so. One of the things that I wrote in one of my books was, it's not about leaving your legacy. It's about living your legacy. Why should you accumulate all sorts of different things that you leave behind? Why don't you be known for it in the current day by doing it, acting on it, and putting things into place so that you can live it and be the living example of some wonderful things? That's my take on legacy. It's not about the future. It's about being present right now and doing the very best you can day in and day out.
And your dog really wants to share with us as well.
And I am doing everything possible to just keep her in her place at the moment.
She's good. Listen, we all. She's like, I want to talk about legacy as well, right?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, good, man.
You know, Scott, I love what you just said, though, because, you know, it is really true. It's how we live our lives every single day, right? It's, it's, again, are you making somebody feel a little bit better? And if you can do that every single day, whether it's a smile at the grocery store to the person that's, cashing you out, or maybe you're picking out some eggs and you're having a quick conversation, can you make somebody's day a little bit better? Because that's something that, someone's gonna be like, oh my God, that was so nice to connect with them. And they don't even have to know your name. You just have to do something to make somebody a little bit better. I used to always say, how many stars, did you give yourself every day? In a rating scale, right? Like if you were using, whether it's Google, Yelp, name the whatever, how many stars did you give yourself? 5 stars at the end of the day? How would you rate yourself, in your actions? And if we can give ourselves 5 stars, I think we're doing something good, because we're making a great impact on the people that are around us and the world that we're living in today. And if we can do that, maybe we can make the world a little bit better every single day.
Yes.
I love that. But I'm going to ask you a deeper question, because I do love that. But how many of us give ourselves 5 stars when we only deserve 3 because of how we made other people feel, yet we think we did good by them?
That is true.
Would the question be better is, how many stars will they give me?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I ask them?
Like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we should go around with like a little pad, like a doctor's pad, right? Can you please rate can you please give me a skill?
The best 2-question survey on the planet, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. How would you rate our experience? The second one is, if not a 10, how could I make it a 10?
Right.
Yeah. I think the universe also tells us, what we give, we receive. That law of reciprocity. I think about today at 3:20. I'll be speaking on a particular individual who left a lot of great legacy.
Mhm.
Maybe not to all, some may not feel that way, but Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali. So I've been asked to speak on him today at 3:20, like I said, in commemoration of Black History Month. And I've struggled with it, you all. I'm not even gonna lie about it. Because it's kind of like what Scott said. It's like leaving behind. And it's I don't want to just speak about what everyone knows, if that makes sense. I want to find a deeper layer of how it coincides with today, how that legacy could be utilized and implemented in our daily lives, as we're talking about. So, yeah, I'm still wrestling a little bit, but I think by 3:20 I'll be ready to go.
The words will come because they're coming from the heart, right? It's not a head game that you're playing, because I know where your heart is. So the words will be magnificent.
That's the biggest part of anything, when you're just sharing from the heart and giving the very best piece of information you can for all the right reasons. It just shows up.
Yeah.
So thinking about legacy, and I love what you said, is what you take your actions today, Scott. But a lot of people, they take their legacy, but they don't do enough to impact others so that people will say, oh, how great you are, all this. But when you pass on, your legacy dies off. So, in consideration of the short time we have on this earth, how do we build a legacy that is incredibly so great that people cannot avoid but speak about us? Like Clay, right? Like Schilling, like Jaclyn. Jaclyn, that is your married name, right? I'm going
Yep.
to ask you a question and you don't have to answer. What is your given name?
What's my maiden name? Oh my God, it's a mouthful. It's Bo Varnick.
I love it. So, but when you took a different identity because you married someone, but you're still that person, right? So
Oh yeah.
your identity didn't change. You became a wife, you became a mother, your children have that name, but you're still that little girl who's changing the world one day at a time. And so when we make an impact in the world, I was reading, I saw an article on Tesla, not the Tesla you're thinking of, Nikolai Tesla, right? How he died alone, and how many people stole his ideas, and how many people turned away from him because his ideas were too crazy. And yet today we don't even realize that wireless technology is based on him. So many different things that we use today are because of him, because of his craziness. And it wasn't crazy. He just spoke out of time. But his name will live on forever. Unfortunately, the man died alone. And from what I hear, he used to go and just feed the pigeons. So he had that desire to still feel wanted, to be loved by someone. And the only one that paid attention to him were the pigeons, which is the saddest thing I can think about. because if he was around today, everyone would want to know, like, oh my God, he was not crazy. We have all this technology, all these things because of it. So think of what you want. But sometimes we have to even listen to the crazy ones because they may be saying the right thing.
Well, the crazy is really the genius just being released. And so again, we work to share the greatest ideas. It's those that are not easily accepted that sometimes become the greatest possibilities.
Yeah, think of the movie Genius with Val Kilmer. That's one of my favorites of all times. You know, the popcorn in the house. But again, I mean, just when you think of that movie, we know that you know some of the brainiacs. I've studied Nikolai, you know, a little bit over the years to Sifu, and you know, it's some things that you know he learned as well. Though it's I have this book. It's called Pata Technology, right? And it talks about you know how you know it goes all the way back to you know the pyramids in Egypt and how the ancient mystery schools, you know, many scholars was coming there trying to figure out this quote back then technology and how that trickles down and in from Nikolai to Elon and you know, but the legacy within itself, the way I see it is it's something outside of us in its own right. If that makes sense. Cause I'm sipping on Folgers right now. Think about the legacy of Folgers. I don't know who Folgers is. I don't know if it's a gentleman named Folgers, their last name. I don't know, but Folgers has been around as I was born in 76, so it's been around a long time. But I think it goes back like Scott was saying, Jaclyn Seafood, it's what are we going to do that like you said, Seafood, as our name may fade away, but that thing is still you know present and people are picking it up adding on to it and taking it to another level as we see so yeah man.
You know, I keep thinking about the legacy of like how we think of obviously certain people, right? So the one person that keeps coming to my mind is I'm thinking about Steve Jobs, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and you know what he did and how he lived and how he transformed so much about what we do today. You know, whether you liked his leadership or not, he still had such an impact and he'll be remembered for quite some
Oh
time,
yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
But I also just think about, you know, how can each of us, as you know, Sifu, as you were sharing, how can each of us be remembered, um, not just by our name, but by the good that we've done, by the people that we have impacted. Maybe it's 20 people, maybe it's one
Hmm.
person, but if
Yeah.
we can have the impact on one person, God, it's just, you know, then we've done something good, right?
Yes. Yes. If I may, when I think of Sifu, I think about his son. So the perception of others, because I know when I went to his son's Facebook page and I started watching his journey of, you know, him working out. He's a workout guy. He's getting buff. He's getting chiseled up. All I could see, Scott, Jacqueline, I promise the Lord Jesus Christ, was seafood. That it was. I know that's your son, brother, but I was just like, man, he's able to see that hard work of seafood through martial arts. Now he's doing it in his lane per se, i.e., the weightlifting journey, but the resilience of what he understands now as a young man, what you've been through, I know he's tapping into that energy in terms of that. So, like Jacqueline said, bro, you've left a legacy already. And you can see it through your son, man. That's all jokes aside, brother.
I appreciate that. You're going to actually meet him next week. He's going to be in Tampa with us.
He's
right?
coming to
So,
Tampa. Good, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, brother.
Yay.
So before you go, Coach Theo, I want to share a quick video because obviously you're in it. So let me put this out there. Take a look.
The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event. It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience, mastermind, where purpose is found.
Boom.
Still dancing.
Who was
Where
that
purpose
with the wig on, man? Who was that?
What wig?
It looked like somebody had like a gray with something. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it, bro.
I know, Coach Theo, thank you so much. I know I think you have to leave, right? So I appreciate your time with us.
Yeah, I wish I could stay because it's such an important conversation. Definitely love being with Scott, yourself, and Jaclyn, because you just feel it, man. You know when it's in alignment, you know when it's right. Just from everybody, man. I saw the photo of Scott and good old Pastor Andre Butler. Man, I got happy. I was like, man, that's family right there. So I just appreciate it. And anytime you ask Seafood, man, you know I'm gonna do what I need to do to try to assist, man. And shout out to the other individual with their family, you know, praying for their family as well. And I'm gonna go over here and do what I gotta do, man. Keep me on y'all's prayers. I got Ali on my shirt today, so maybe if I look down at the shirt, it, like you all said, it'll just come naturally. And we do what we do. Looking forward to seeing you all in Tampa. Love
Oh,
you.
yes.
You know, T.O., you do such a great job of connecting with your heart all the time. There's no thinking about it. This is just let the heart flow, and it's going to be an amazing tribute. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Scott. All right, you all take care.
All right, brother. Take care. What an incredible human being he is. Scott, you have not met him in person yet, but wait till you do. Right?
No, I'm looking forward to that. You know, that's the one thing. You know, we've got this video technology, so we can be in. You know, we can get into people's lives, but it's really in the face-to-face and in the doing things in live events. I was having that conversation this morning at this event. I said, you know, it's great. We could have watched the same presentation over a video conference, but it was the meeting past the meeting. It was the conversation past the conversation. You know, it was the, hey, congratulations on sharing a great message after the entire thing. And these are the things that, especially when we talk about legacy, again, for me, it's about living it, not leaving it. And it's being the living example we've all been asked to be by whether that be our spiritual guidance or just who we are as individuals. And so that's why it becomes so much fun to have these conversations and just get different people's takes on what's really important. And it's touching to see T.O. be here today. with everything else going on. Jaclyn, of course,
Yep.
you as well.
Yep.
And then my good buddy Sifu. I mean, we just have this fun every once in a while. So just honored to be part of it all.
You were talking about Steve Jobs. And if anybody has not read the book on his life, you should. But one of the things that people have said that working with him was tough. He didn't care for small talk. And he was to the point. He was direct. And he offended a lot of people because no one could fully see the vision that he had. And it was the vision that was most important to him. So yes, he did offend a lot of people, but in doing so, he produced something that was never available before, right? Think about even the speech that he did when he said there's 1,000 songs in your pocket, and he actually pulled out the iPod and he proved it, right? That stage presence that he created, because supposedly he stunk on stage, but once he decided to master it, no one can outwit him. Nobody can. Everything had to be so exact, so precise, and it's something that we have to consider: is what is the legacy that we do want to leave? Because I'm going to say this name, and I don't even think anybody wants to hear it, but Hitler also left a legacy, one of tragedy, of chaos, of pain. So there's two different people who their vision was so different, they did impact our world. So when we think about how do we create a legacy and keep it in motion, how do we want to leave it once we're gone?
I will tell you, for me, and I share this on my, one of the reasons why I do my podcast is I have this dream that if we can change leadership and leaders so that nobody runs away from a company, people run to companies, because the leaders that are, in our lives are making us feel fulfilled and feeling heard and leveling us up versus, I mean, we've always heard about the bad leader, or the person, like, where we're fine at our job, or they're emotionally abusive, but they don't even realize it. But if we can flip the switch so that every leader in our lives, or people in our lives, make us all level up a little bit, even if it's just like one tiny little notch, then think about the impact that that's going to have. And that's what I mean, for me, like, how can we give that? How can I help everybody have that little bit of push to impact other people? Because then it's going to hit the person at the coffee shop. It's going to impact the person at the grocery store. And it trickles down, right? We're all connected. So 6 degrees of separation. If I can smile at somebody and then they can go smile at somebody else, right? That's something that's a contagion we want to keep going.
Yeah, very, very much so. I mean, one of the quotes that I share consistently is Mother Teresa: if you can't feed 100, feed one, right? Do whatever you can do to touch a life. And whatever that might mean, some kind of positive nature. And you said it earlier, Jaclyn, maybe sometimes it's just a smile. It's not even imparting any wisdom per se, right? It's just putting somebody in a different place. And I think that's the opportunity of a leader is, leaders have gained knowledge and expertise and experience and wisdom. But part of that wisdom is letting the person they're with have the victory and becoming their cheerleader, right? And being the person who really lifts it up. And that's where I talk consistently about being a living example of your beliefs and and doing things the right way for the right reasons at the right time. You know, it makes such a difference to give somebody a little bit of encouragement. It was funny. I was going to say to T.O., oh, you were born in 76 also. Not suggesting that I was, but I know other people who have been. So the point was to just have some fun with it all, right? That it doesn't always have to be so serious. That,
Right.
you know, legacy is about just giving some direction, and that's why it's legacy in motion. You know, emotion is energy in motion, right? We've got to be taking some different actions. So this is a fun topic. I love this topic. Good job, Sifu.
You mentioned about lifting others up, and as parents, we do it sometimes without realizing we're doing it for our own children. For example, high chairs. We bring a high chair to the table so the kids could be at the same level. But yet, when there's a family gathering, the kids have to go sit at the kids' table. What's up with that? So we're saying, hey, you matter only now, but when there's other people, you don't matter anymore. So we have to be careful about the language. Even I'm recalling when Coach T was talking about my son, who actually is his birthday today. He turned 25.
Happy birthday.
Today. Yes, Marco, happy birthday. And I remember that at the island, because I built my kitchen right back in the day in Long Island here, and so I created a big island. And what I did is I got a special high chair that clipped on. So anywhere that I wanted, I can just clip it on so he could be part of. If we're sitting at the counter, he's with us. If we're sitting at the table, he's with us. And it wasn't like, oh, he has to go sit somewhere else. And one of the things that I've always done is when I took my kids to a restaurant, people were like, oh my God, your kids are so well behaved. Well, because I'm treating them like adults. And if my child decided to have a temper tantrum, I didn't think that the other patrons in the restaurant needed to observe that. So I would pick them up, take them out, and say, no, I don't care what you're crying. I don't care if you want whatever. You stop crying, we can go back inside. Sometimes it was 5 minutes. Sometimes it was half hour. And I would excuse, even if we were with company, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you took your child out. I'm like, yeah. Because if I'm going to treat them a certain way, they have to understand how to behave a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And so my kids, even now, when they come to my house, they don't even go in my own refrigerator without asking me first, Dad, is it okay if I get a drink? I'm like, it's your house. Open the door. Open it. But they're so polite. They're so well behaved that they have respect no matter where they go. And even because in my house, we take our shoes off when we enter. And my kids know if they go to somebody's house, even if the people are still wearing their shoes, my kids are going to be there in their socks. I do the same thing. I got into people's houses and they're like, oh, you have to take your shoes off. I still do it. It's just me.
Well, I think that's just a process of showing respect, and this is the way that you've trained it out, you know, and trained the kids to be and everything like that. I think it's interesting when moving from up north down south, I said to my ex-wife, isn't it cool that the kids are going to learn Southern manners? Oh, no, we're not going to do that with the kids. Hence the X. The point is, no, the idea of, you know, yes, sir, no, ma'am. You know, it's one of the things I actually love about the South is the politeness, and but it's something that is shared, and you know, Sifu, you and I have talked about it many times. My platform is really to return respect, honor, and dignity to the planet. You know, respect is how we treat each other. Honor is how we lift each up. When we do lift each other up, when we do that well, dignity is experienced by all. You know, wouldn't it be nice to have just a little bit more of that, right? And so again, that's why it's fun doing the show with you and having these topics where we can impart some things we've learned along the way and put it up for consideration for people to either adopt or not. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
I love how you brought the motion with emotion, because if you look at emotions, they always are moving.
Mm-hmm.
You can see somebody, and it's very funny because children will show that. 1 minute they'll be happy, they don't get what they want, they'll be so unhappy, and so their emotions are moving, right?
So less than happy. They're in their own space and doing that. Well, I mean, that's what emotion is. It's energy in motion. We're all energy. We're doing these things. The question is, do we take the actions going forward to share? And that's why, again, legacy to a certain extent is a concept, right? In the only question becomes, do you want to accept that concept and then put it into play for the betterment of the greater good of everybody? There's 8.5 billion people on the planet. If everybody was doing things nicely, wouldn't it be a cool place? So we got a little room to go. That's exciting.
Wait, 8.5 plus 1. I think 1 was just born.
I'm pretty sure more than 1 was just born. The one thing I am convinced of is the 8.5 billion have figured out how to make more. So I don't think it's going to stop. So we might as well, try to impart some goodness into it all, if at all possible.
And that's the goal, right? Think about we all, the three of us here, definitely love words and the impact that they have on us from hearing them, from saying them. But even if you take the first 3 letters of legacy, that's leg, right? You need to give it legs so that it can live, so it can thrive, so it can move, right? Mm-hmm. And should legacy stop with us? Because our thoughts are going to be gone. But how do we keep it going? How's the momentum that we're building, giving it legs so that it carries on once we're gone? So it goes into many, 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 many generations past us.
I think it's how it's the words we use and what do we write down, and whether it's a book or maybe it's a video or something like this, it's people will be able to go back and watch and hear and hear what people say, and if those words can have an impact. And then our children, right? Whether you have children or you don't have children, it's the people that, if you can pass that on to the other generation, so that maybe you speak to them, maybe you're going out to a school or you're going to a university, and that you can actually share and have that impact on a different generation. That is a great way for us to create the legs to move, our legacy forward. But I really also think that, I think about, like I have 2 kids, and I think about how my kids have actually been able to have conversations with other people. And I laugh, I may have shared this story once before, but I'll share it. When we first moved to Reno, I was at one of the grocery stores, and I would talk to anybody because I didn't know a soul here, like knew nobody, like Zippo, except for the realtor who I met. I would talk to anybody. And there was one day, fast forward a couple of years later, and I'm at the grocery store again, and I'm waiting at the deli counter, and there was a woman that had a cart next to us, and my daughter was with me. And before I could even say hello, my daughter starts like having conversation with this woman, making small talk. And it was just, wow. Right? Because I was watching, like, it was it just gave me kind of goosebumps because I'm like, oh my God, I'm helping my kids are mirroring it. I've seen my son do it. They've learned that to have conversations with other people. And, that lady and my daughter had a few chuckles. So, she left with a smile.
I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things we can pass along. We're such social beings. It's interesting. It seems as if the pandemic was a long time ago, but it unfortunately left a lot of shrapnel in its wake, and a big part of that was the lack of human connection, right? And again, video programs like this and being able to connect through video. I got a buddy who's now done a few thousand shows, and we were talking the other day, and I said, "So why did you start?" He said, "Believe it or not, I just wanted to leave a family legacy to my child." He said, "I wanted my child to truly know his dad's thoughts through the years." And that's now transcended into thousands of pieces of content where he's not only leaving it for his child, but he's leaving it to the rest of the world. And so, I mean, I think technology is an amazing thing, being able to do this, sit here with dogs yapping and all sorts of things until they're not, and being able to share information for people's consideration and just, I mean, we're pretty spread out. We've got New York, we've got Nevada, we've got Texas represented here. We had T.O. down in Florida, and Atlanta. Yeah, I was thinking he's going to Florida next week. But the point is, all of a sudden we have all this ability to connect and be able to share thoughts and ideas on things that hopefully, again, people grab what they like and embody it, and potentially reject what they don't and keep on going on with their lives. And it just feels good to be able to impart, quite frankly, what I've embodied over a few years on the planet, and hopefully it serves somebody along the way.
You Scott, I got to say, you are impacting so many people in so many different ways. I love how you, after a call or something like that, you send a video, and it's I think that's an important aspect that a lot of people may not understand the value of what you do. So you're teaching every one of us the right way to do things, and so please don't ever stop. If you do,
Thank you.
it will be good for us. So
well, you know what? Again, we're social beings, and I wonder if sometimes I just didn't move into the dad zone where you start telling dad jokes and just having conversations with people simply because that's what happens at some point in life, or if it's just having fun and enjoying life. And I choose to think it's just having fun and enjoying life and going, let's maximize the opportunity for all, quite frankly.
absolutely. Unfortunately, we've come to that time where we are ending the show. So, Jaclyn, I'm going to give you about 45 seconds. Why should somebody come see you at leaptoyoursuccess.com? I mean, I know why I do, but tell everybody else.
Well, if you want to take that leap to your greatest success, have clarity, have confidence, and go beyond what you're doing right now and have, as I love to say, unstoppable success, I want to help you. Take that leap, make those 2 steps. So reach out. Let's have a strategy session. Let's have a conversation. Just go to leaptoyoursuccess.com, book a time. Yeah, and let's have a talk.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Jaclyn, for being here with us. And Jaclyn is going to be in my next show with me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
In a couple of minutes. So look at that. Scott, my friend, tell us why. And I know, listen, I am just blessed to know you, right? Why should somebody go to your website?
Well, I help people communicate messages better and create relationships. Ultimately, I'm classically a sales guy and a sales trainer. but everything's a sale. Every time we open our mouth, we are offering up something for consideration. So I just want people to communicate better and quite frankly, live their best life. And so we help people communicate messages better so they provide more solutions so everybody gets lifted up all at the same time. Come visit. I don't hide well. Scott at scottschilling.com.
You do not hide well. I got to tell you, I am blessed to know you both. I am Sifu Raphael. I don't hide well either. SifuRaphael.com. I am the founder and architect of, if you want to believe it, transformational experiences, because the reason that Jaclyn and Theo and so many others are going to be in Tampa is because I've created New York City experiences to bring people together and to share and to continue the legacy that they are doing. But now we're doing it in a collective manner, if you will. So if you're interested, reach out to me. I have so many incredible opportunities for you to get on stages or even just get on the show with us. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Sifu.
Have a fabulous rest of your day.
Yeah. Do me a favor, everybody, share this show with somebody who needed to hear what legacy is that they are building or need to build. Because if you're not building your legacy, you need to talk to us and we'll help you. God bless everybody.